Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another crypto video. Today we're going to be analyzing some charts for you guys, pretty much talking about what I see happening very soon in terms of the market. So yeah, I mean, without further ado, let's kind of jump into this. So a lot of people were kind of worried about, HBAR and also even XRP. These assets are not going to run. They're not going to run until Bitcoin stabilizes. So let's turn on some of my indicators and really kind of show you what we are currently working with. So right now, we got rejected off of the 618 Fibonacci level, which was pretty much in here. This was pretty much the highest that we went. I told you guys, we went to 36K. Unless we break 37K, we are not going to see any really major relief. I'd love to regain the 702, which is at about like 37.5K. That would be incredible for Bitcoin, and it will really show strength. But the 786, which is up in those 38K zones, that is where a lot of our relief run will actually happen. That's where we could possibly see 45K plus. Now, I do know there's a lot of concerns regarding what basically happens if we came up into these levels up here. Because things could happen very fast. For an example, we've seen liquidation happen, all the time. Right here, this is pretty much where a lot of people thought, all right, we're going to come lower. It didn't end up happening. We actually came up, relieved a bit, and we actually ended up stopping at about almost 60K exact. Then the liquidations actually happened. This is where $9 billion kind of flowed out, got fully liquidated. Until we get back up into the all-time high, which is marked up here at 65K, we will not see any major price action for most alts. I'm not going to say all alts because we do know the Q&T and a few other alts are really kind of running their own show, which is telling us, yeah, sure, the bull market might not be over. And I say might not be over because I know a lot of people will say, well, Link in 2017 and 2018 had its own run, or during 2018's bear market, it had its own run, and they compare to that. But most of these altcoins are showing a lot of strength. Even technically, HBAR and XRP are showing strength, and I'm going to talk about that here shortly. But we have a lot of room to make up. I think once we get over the 786, which is up in those 38K zones, a clean break above 40K would put us back on path for greatness, if you will. But I think that we're pretty much ranging to go higher here. We did bounce off of a little bit of support, if you will. I mean, this is pretty much support from the past couple of days. The support level is about 34K exact. It's also a little bit of a resistance point from back in early June. We actually see this being a support zone even here in May. Now, in regards to what I would like to see from Bitcoin is honestly just stabilizing. If this could stabilize and pretty much get back into the relief pump up here, that would be great. Now, again, I still have my own concerns with liquidations happening, lower lows being printed, because I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but 28K is not a big deal for me to hit and retarget again for a major lower low. This would be 28K here, this blue line, which is only a little bit below this line here. Now, when we look at 28K, we're looking at support from January 4th of this year. So it's technically almost a yearly support level, if you will. But that would be a massive shakeout, right? Imagine what people would be saying if we ranged to 47 to 48K on Bitcoin, and then we had a major liquidation event where we came down and retested a lower low, bounced off of maybe 28K, and then we pretty much ranged to go to the all-time high plus and go into price discovery. I mean, what do you think people would actually be saying? I mean, everybody would be fearful. A lot of people are expecting major upward potential. I'm expecting, this market to take a little bit longer to stabilize. I mean, overall, when we look at this, I'm not too concerned with, the overall chart here. I mean, I'm still very bullish, especially considering the fact that You know, something like this is not a big concern when you look at past market cycles. A lot of people will argue and say this has never happened before. We've heard it many times before, even in the 2017 2018 bull run. Everybody was saying this has never happened before. It's just one big bubble. It's waiting to crash. It's going to zero. I'm not concerned at all. If you guys weren't buying this year and you guys bought in 2020, you shouldn't be worried at all. I mean, if you guys bought this year, I could see your concerns, but there's really nothing to worry about. I mean, we are still showing sidewards trading, which isn't exactly bearish. I mean, you could say that this is bearish, but it's really not. Especially when we look at, you know, most altcoins that trade sideways, we know what this is ranging for. Now, on a zoomed out, you know, scale, we could see that this drop here is most likely going to simulate something like this, where we do go up higher and higher and higher, and then we eventually have that major crash, which I've told you guys is pretty much what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something where, you know, basically we come up and we hit 75 to 85K, and this is where right here is the monumental area. This will tell us if we go to 100K or if we come back down and pretty much break down. Now, why is this? Because at these key levels, I've been talking about 75 to 85K being the topping point for quite some time now. And the reason for that is a lot of people will be waiting for 100K. A lot of people will be hoping that 100K is targeted, but it's not a guarantee like anything in this game. And this is where a lot of that, you know, manipulation will happen, where, you know, you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and then guess what? Here comes the crash down. We come down maybe to even 20K. 20K wouldn't be a too bad of a area to kind of, you know, stabilize that for Bitcoin for the next run up in another like 3 years or so. But the reason for this is to trap people holding bags. A lot of people are left holding bags for 3 years in this market or selling at a loss because they got greedy and they were waiting for a target like this. I still think that, you know, 75K at the end of the day or 85K is our topping point. Somewhere in between here would most likely be our topping point. We are not guaranteed to go to 100K because everybody is still waiting for it. Now, where does that put HBAR and XRP? So I mentioned, you know, HBAR and XRP are kind of holding strong. Yeah, we broke this, you know, support zone here at that almost 18. It's like 18 cents exact for HBAR. We broke down a little bit below it. It's nothing too crazy. I'm not too concerned. Unless we print a lower low, maybe like 17 cents, a lower low from these past 2 days, I should say, then I would be concerned. We only printed a lower low from the 29th, which was yesterday. I'm not too concerned at all. I don't think that we retest too many support zones on this. If anything, you know, yeah, sure, we could possibly see a retest of this support zone here at about like 16.5 cents. But for the most part, we still look good. Now, we did reject off of the 200-day MA multiple times now. That 200-day MA is hard to really grasp. So is 20 cents. 20 cents is showing a lot of resistance. That is a lot of sell pressure at 20 cents that we need to get past. Once volume increases and once we do something where we break out, get above this, hold this level, and then we can pretty much target the 50 and 100-day MA overall to get to that point of relief where we go and see 30 cents plus, but it's going to take time. This is going to take time. It's going to take time for Bitcoin to stabilize. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a building process. We are building a foundation for the next ride up. The next ride up will be monumental. I mentioned it even on Twitter. I said this bull run is still going to be monumental for those who are still in it. A lot of people have been shaken out already, and there's going to be a lot more shakeouts that are going to happen. It's just not going to be as drastic as this one. But we will see something where we get the idea of everybody's waiting and waiting and waiting for these massive price targets to be targeted for Bitcoin and stuff. And eventually they're going to be at a loss if those never happen. So I always like to say, be cautious with where your exit strategy is and where it lies, because greed will kill you in this game. Now, in terms of XRP, again, it's kind of the same story as HBAR, if you will. We did target 75 cents. We got rejected off of it, showing strong resistance here. We also reclaimed the 200-day MA on this one as well. Same with this. We reclaimed the 200-day MA, and now we are pretty much following the same structure, if you will. We pretty much rejected off of the 200-day MA. We're trading a little bit below it. We actually broke 70 cents resistance, and now we're trading in this 65 cent to 70 cent zone overall. And we can actually kind of see that by throwing a line on this support zone here. It's a little under 65 cents overall, but 65 cents is a major support zone for XRP. This zone is actually nice for resistance as well. So I'm hoping not to break under that. I'm hoping to hold this line here. That would be very nice for us. It's not like anything bullish or monumental or anything like that. I'll be completely honest with you. But I do want to see this hold for strength for XRP. So some takeaways here. We are still in a bull run. The market is just taking a while to stabilize. Trust me, I hate it as well. Even if we look here, right, let me actually hide everything. If we look here and go from the date that we started to really kind of just relief to now, this is where the whole patience comes into play, right? We are currently at 41 days that we have been in this massive kind of just, I would say it's a building support zone area where we're building this foundation, and it's 41 days of it, and it sucks. If we actually go from the day that we started dropping to now, it's been like about 49 days, but realistically, I'm taking it where we stabilized. It was the day after all the reckoning. It's about 41 days. I'm hoping by the middle of July to the end of July to have some relief in this market and actually have strong support and basically stabilization. There's a lot of price action that needs to ensue for us to get above some key zones. For an example, the 50-day MA is at 37.8K. That is pretty much that 702. Once we get past that, and once we get to that 100-day MA, we're pretty much past the 786 and the 702, and we are on our way to the major relief zone, or we could get to the liquidation zone. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys can follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial. You guys could also join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out.